Welcome back, everybody. Today we're taking a practical and unique approach at dealing with the narcissistic people that may still be in your life. We're going to talk about how to make narcissists walk on eggshells around you. That is to say, how to make narcissists treat you with the kindness, the fairness, and the respect that you deserve, even if it is fake. Let's talk about how to do this. My name is Kevin, and this is The Royal We. Now, before I do continue, I want to let you know that I'm here to support you. Down in the description box, you'll find access for one-on-one appointments with me. I take telephone calls and video calls through Zoom, FaceTime, and WhatsApp. Also, the Royal We private membership is available for you, where you get not only daily access to support by me, but support by a growing community of people all over the world. There is a custom workout program to help you get into shape coming out of narcissistic abuse. There's weekly fellowship and so much more, all within the privacy of a members-only app. So head on down to the description box and check out the private Royal We membership. Now let's get into this. How do you make narcissistic people walk on eggshells around you? To begin with, it is crucial to understand that narcissistic people are two-faced by their very nature. They can't help it. It's part of their DNA. It's part of their genetic makeup. It's their unevolved consciousness. It has to do with their lizard brain. Whatever you want to call it, they are two-faced people. They are cruel, mean, nasty, and rageful, and you've experienced this. However, you've also seen that they can be kind and polite and charming and likable. And if you're not careful, this can keep you stuck in toxicity while you try to figure out what the reason is. You may feel like it's your fault, that you're doing something wrong, because after all, they're so kind to other people, to people they don't even really know. I struggled with this for a long time as I was dealing with in-laws that were mean and nasty and rageful towards me while I was trying to be intimately involved with them and give to them and love them. Yet, they were so nice and charming and kind and respectful towards my friends and my family members, people they didn't even know, people who didn't try to do anything for them. And so the answer to this question of which one is really the narcissist, what are they? Are they kind or are they mean? It's simple. Here's the truth. All of us reveal our true selves when we are comfortable, when we are brought into a place of intimacy and vulnerability and we feel comfortable in a relationship. That is where we feel we can kick our shoes off and let our hair down. Those of you who have hair, because I don't. But you get what I'm trying to say here. When it comes to dealing with narcissistic people, what you're going to realize is that when they find their comfortability in a relationship, when that door to intimacy has been opened, they become mean and rageful and controlling and manipulative, which means that when they are charming and when they are likable, it's out of a place of being uncomfortable. Essentially, they're walking on eggshells. Think back to the beginning of the relationship when they were love bombing you. A lot of people look at love bombing as just being a tool of manipulation, which it is. And I'm going to touch more on that in this message later on. But the fact of the matter is it's also out of a place of discomfort. They're not yet comfortable with you. They're essentially walking on eggshells around you, hoping that they're saying the right thing, hoping that they're acting kind, hoping that they're coming across in a good way because they're not yet comfortable. This is super important for you to understand because this is the place where you want to get narcissists back to. You want to get them boxed into this place where they are uncomfortable with you, where there is no more intimacy, where they're not allowed to be comfortable enough to be rageful. And in doing so, you're going to make them walk on eggshells around you. And yes, it's fake. And this is going to be the most difficult part because you're going to have to accept that the narcissistic person operates in extremes. Like a pendulum, they swing to rageful, mean, and nasty when they're most comfortable with you. And they swing to charming and kind and excessively, overly sweet. And once you realize this and you've taken enough distance out of the relationship, you've estranged yourself enough mentally and emotionally to be able to see their pendulum of extremes, you can now say, okay, I get it. It has nothing to do with me. So I'm going to bring the narcissist back to this place where they're not comfortable enough with me to be mean, rageful, and nasty, nor am I going to buy into their love bombing, manipulation. Instead, I'm going to make them just be kind and respectful and treat me fairly and with courtesy. And I'm going to keep them there. So let's talk about how this actually happens. Again, the key to all of this is mental and emotional distance and estrangement. You have to be willing to estrange yourself from the situation, to distance yourself, whether it's narcissistic family members or in-laws or people you work with. You have to mentally and emotionally estrange yourself. And you have to accept that there will be no intimacy, no comfortability allowed in the relationship. Only from this distance can you then go back and approach the situation from an understanding that you are going to box them in. Boxing a narcissistic person in a place of walking on eggshells around you has to do with your boundaries. Once you are able to understand their pendulum and how they operate, you can then approach the situation like this, with a hard, firm boundary. I will not be talked down to. I will not be demeaned. I will not allow you to talk down to me, to yell, to scream, to shout. And if you haven't yet seen my video on boundaries, I encourage you to do so. I'll put a link right there, because your boundaries have to be actionable. Your boundaries are not about telling a narcissistic person what to do. Your boundaries have to be shown. So when a narcissistic person, whether it's a family member or an in-law or anybody who's coming at you sideways, you immediately have to be willing to turn your back, not pay any attention to it, and you walk away. Period. End. It doesn't matter if it's a family event and you just showed up and you've only been there for 2 minutes, and already within that 2 minutes, somebody in your family decides to be snarky. The narcissistic person decides to say something demeaning. Instantly, decisively, you say, nope, turn your back, and you're out. You grab your kids, you grab your family, you say, peace out, deuce, goodbye. And in your action of boundaries, you are showing that you are not going to tolerate any disrespect, period, end. You're gone. Now, but watch this. Also, on the other side of the pendulum, where narcissistic people can be overly charming and overly sweet and overly kind and start to love bomb you, they can excessively start to say, oh, I love you, I've always loved you, and oh, this and that. You have to also push back against that. Now, you may not have to leave and show them your backside, but you can. Or you can simply say, don't. You don't love me. I don't love you. We're not here for that. So stop it. Just be kind. Just be courteous. I'm not trying to listen to any of that. Just be respectful, and I'll be here. In doing this, you can start to see how you are boxing a narcissistic person in. You are showing that you will not tolerate disrespect, nor are you going to pay attention to any manipulation from them being overly kind. You see, narcissistic people depend on their ability to emotionally draw somebody in, either by being excessively kind and love bombing or by being rageful and mean and nasty. You are showing a narcissistic person you're not down with either one. You are only there, and you will only be in their presence, period, end, if they are just kind and respectful. Now, is it fake? Yes. Is it a place of the narcissistic person being uncomfortable? Yes. Are they acting this way because you are threatening to leave if they're not? Yes. But that's exactly where you want them. You don't want to be involved with somebody who is acting out of these extreme ends of their pendulum. You want them boxed in into a place where they are just being kind, and that's it. Now, I have to tell you that this, by and large, depends on your mentality. You have to first accept that there is no intimacy with these people. There is no place of comfortability with these people. So you have to be willing to accept that the best you're going to get is this fake version of them, which is just kind of a half mask on, where they are just kind and polite and there's nothing more. Now, by keeping narcissistic people in this box that you've created for them, a box of just being pleasant and respectful and kind, even though it's fake and superficial, that's okay. You're going to be okay with that. I've had to learn to be okay with that. But by keeping them there, You now are in control of the narrative. You're in control of the narrative because you're in control of whether or not you're there or not. And it keeps narcissistic people in this place of being kind. They're not allowed to swing one way or the other. They're not going to be able to swing to this extreme or swing to that extreme. You're keeping them corralled, if you will, in this spot of superficial charm, because this is what's going to allow you to be at peace. Now, should a narcissistic person in this situation cross your boundaries by either becoming mean or demeaning or hostile, or should they become excessively love-bombing or super charming or manipulative, it is crucial that you act decisively in that moment. The moment they become demeaning, you turn your back, you're out. The moment they become excessively love-bombing, you say, don't go there. I'm not here for that. The goal is to keep narcissists in this place by reaffirming your boundaries, even if you have to leave. The key is you must be decisive. You've got to be prepared to leave. Listen, at this place in my healing journey, if I ever have to go and be around the in-laws that were at one point so negative and so rude, but they also showed me this love and this charm and, oh, we've always loved you. Anytime I go back and I'm around these people, I will keep them boxed in and just respect me. Just be kind. Smile. You say one wrong thing, I'm out. I don't care if I'm here or not. If you're overly love-bombing and overly charming, I'm going to call you out on that too, because I'm not here for that. I'm here to make sure that we just have a safe environment and that we can all remain in somewhat of a peaceful state. The goal here is not to control narcissistic people. You're not trying to become narcissistic yourself. The goal in this is to maintain your peace of mind, to maintain your safety and the safety of those around you, including the safety of the narcissistic person. Because as we all know, you can get into this reactive abuse and then it's tit for tat and then all hell breaks loose. So the goal is to make sure everybody is at peace. So in order to be at peace, you accept that you're going to have to box narcissistic people in and accept their kindness and respect, as fake as it is, accept it as it's good enough. We can stay together here for a couple of hours so long as you're just smiling and being pleasant. And if they're not, you decisively act to get out of the situation right then and there. Remember, the goal here is to maintain your peace of mind with any and all people that you engage with. Let the narcissistic people be fake if that's what it takes for them to treat you with respect. Let them wear half their mask if that's what it takes to make them smile and be courteous and respectful to you. The narcissistic person's behavior is not your problem. When they swing into rage and demeaning and devaluing, that has nothing to do with you. That is their true nature. When they are being overly charming and loving and super kind and love-bombing, that's not your issue either. That's them trying to be manipulative. Your goal is to understand this pendulum swing that narcissists live by, this emotional pendulum that they're on, and your goal is to say, I'm not here for any of that. You just smile. I don't care how fake it is. You just smile and you treat me with respect. And we can be in each other's presence in that way. I know that many of you are still dealing with narcissistic family members or in-laws. And so this message is for you. If you have not yet figured out how to neutralize a narcissistic person, I'm available for you. Head on down to the description box, schedule that one-on-one time. Let's talk about how to apply this specifically in your situation. In addition to one-on-one coaching calls, I also have the private membership where you get daily support. So head on down to the description box right now. Look at the daily support that's offered to you within the private membership. And I'll be back with more videos for you right here on The Royal We. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe because that's how this message gets shared. Like this video, share it with somebody who may need to see this right now. Don't forget to hit the bell notification. Otherwise, you might not be aware of Royal We content that's uploaded. And check out one of these videos that's recommended by the YouTube algorithm for you. I'll be back with more videos right here on The Royal We.